Hello, beautiful and sacred souls. I am Queen Leia Lewis of Beautiful and Sacred Things, the growing global community of women who are accessing and activating wisdom, inspiration, and transformation to become all of who we are. It is your time for you to become the woman you are born to be. And I want to thank you for joining me for part 2 in the series entitled The Power of Healing. We are now transitioning from one calendar year into a new year. And whether you are watching now in December 2016 or at a later time, the teachings that I am sharing with you, the stories that I share with you are relevant because on this journey of becoming all of who we are, that which I call the divine feminine journey, it is one thing that I know for sure. You will experience pain. There will be some hardship. There will be difficulty. There will be challenges. However, let us count it all joy because everything does serve our highest good when we know who we are and whose we are. You are born now for a time and a purpose such as this time, with a mission to accomplish, with a life that is bright and brilliant. You are perfectly made. You are wonderfully formed. And it is time for you to do the necessary healing work, for you to overcome the traumas, the pains, the disappointments, the disillusionment, the betrayals, the depression, for you to shed that, for you to shake it off so that you can stand in the glory, the light, the beauty, and the majesty of who you are as a wonderful, wonderful woman. So, part of the healing that you need to experience comes when you access and you tap into the power of intention. The power of intention. And that is the topic of my message today. What is intention? Intention is simply an aim, a plan, a point of focus. To have intention, to access the power of intention means that you are crystal clear, that you have clarity, understanding, and a commitment to know what it is that you want. That is very, very big work because when we live in a world, in a society in which we are continuously conditioned to believe that we should want something because perhaps that is what our parents want for us, or perhaps what our mate or spouse wants for us, because we believe that we should do things in a certain sort of way because that is the traditional or the conventional way of doing things, our thinking and our clarity can become muddled and it can become muddy. But to have clear intention is to be in alignment with knowing what you want is in harmony with what God wants for you. Not what someone on this earthly realm wants for you, but what is it that God wants for you? And when we get still, and when we get clear, and when we begin to listen within, we can access those things that are our heart's desires. Now, intention is that thing which is the aim, the focus, or the plan. And to be clear about your intentions requires you to, as I said, get still and to listen within. But you are not just listening from a mental place. You are really listening from the very core of your being. You are listening from your heart. You are listening from your soul. You are listening from your spirit. And the question is this: what do I want? What is it that I really, really want? I want you to use this question as a writing prompt, as a journal prompt for yourself. At this time in your life, what is it that you really, really want? And I'm not talking about your dreams of yesterday or the dreams that you had many years ago, though those could be the clues. But right now, in this pure space of right now, because that's all of what we have, what is it that you want most? And I want you to write down those things. Not what you believe you can have, not what you believe you can accomplish because you know how to do it, but simply allow yourself to want what you want. After you have identified those things, the next part of the assignment is for you to review that list and to not edit and not to self-censor, but to believe that you can have what you want. Imagine that, believing that which you want, you can have it. One of the things that I have learned in 2016 is that I have often, over and over in my life, with some things, not with all things, but with some things, gotten in my own way because I believe that I could not have it. I believe that in some way that thing that I wanted to have was beyond my capacity to receive it because of my own feelings of insecurity, unworthiness, the very same things we talked about in the last video, or not trusting God and knowing that she has the power for it to show up in my life. Okay, that is a matter of faith and that is a matter of doubt. Okay, when you lack faith and when you have doubt in the ability of the Creator, God, Mother, Father, Source, and Supply to show up and show out for you, that is a limiting belief. That is a limiting belief. With God, all things are possible. All things are possible through the Creator, through the Source, through the Maker of all things. Does it not please God for your heart's desires to be made manifest in the world? What good thing would God deny you? What good thing would God deny you, a child of God? Is God not concerned about you? Is God not concerned about your well-being? Is God not concerned about your financial condition? Is God not concerned about your relationship? Is God not concerned about your home? Is God not concerned about your career? Is God not concerned about your happiness? Absolutely, God is. Absolutely, God is. So identify those things that you desire. What are your heart's desires? What are your dreams? What is your hope? Allow yourself to confess it. Allow yourself to see it. And let that intention be the guiding light that will begin to order your steps in terms of the decisions that you make in your life on a daily basis so that you can clearly move towards those things that you intend to experience. And on the journey, let not your doubt, let not your fear, let not your insecurity get in the way of your receiving and having those things that God wants for you to have in divine timing and in divine order. One of the greatest intentions that I set for myself this calendar year of 2016 is, one, I wanted to travel to Washington, D.C. with my sons so that we could experience the nation's capital during the time of the President Obama administration. The second great intention that I had was for me to bring some necessary order, structure, and responsibility to my financial life. It was time for me to take a hard look and a necessary look at my credit. It was time for me to look at those people and those organizations and those entities to whom I had financial responsibilities, and how can I begin to get my money right, okay? And then the third big plan that I had for my life this year was also to travel to Jamaica so that I could reunite and my son with his father. It has been more than a decade since we have been to the island, and it was time for us to go back. Those were my intentions. I was very clear about what I wanted to do and what I wanted to have happen for us and for me this calendar year. Well, let me tell you, God has utterly shown up and shown out in all of those areas of my life. It has required me to do some necessary work and for me to be consistent in my application of doing the required things step by step, one step at a time, one moment at a time, in order to make those ideas or those intentions, those plans become a reality. But what I did have to do throughout the process of realizing each of those plans is I had to utterly trust God in the process. There were times when I was planning trips when I did not know where the money was going to come from. But because I believe God and because I trust God, I knew that my heart's desires were pleasing unto God, that they were honorable desires, and that God would see to it and show up. I literally had to surrender. I literally had to trust and pray and say, God, you see me planning this trip. God, you see me needing to organize the airfare. God, you see these plane tickets are at this great price now, and now is the moment. And just like I am speaking to you, just as plainly as I'm telling you this story, I saw miracle after miracle of financial manifestation of God showing up and the finances showing up right on time, in the right way, in the required amount for me to take one step forward, another step forward, and another step forward, until ultimately, yes, we had arrived at our destinations and had wonderful experiences there. Beautiful and sacred soul, this is your time. This is your time to set your intentions for your life. What is it that you want to have happen in these next few days of 2016? Set an intention. Go ahead, make it clear, make it plain. It can be a very practical thing. It can be a grand thing, but only you know what are the desires of your heart and what are those things that you wish to experience that are in keeping with God's plan for you, in alignment, okay? And that will bring greater joy, greater peace, greater prosperity, greater purpose, and greater beauty to your life. Now is the time, now is the season for you to become the woman who you are born to be. To activate the power of intention goes hand in hand with the principle, the spiritual principle of trust. If you make a plan, you have to trust God to allow that plan to manifest under the light of the sun, under the light of the moon. If you make a plan, if you have an intention, you have to trust yourself to follow through on the plan and to do the work that is necessary, to take the required steps, to have the required mindset, to have the required heart space of love for that thing to become a reality. It's not about control, but in every way it is about trust and surrender. Intention, trust, and surrender, and doing. Those things all go together. I am Queen Leia Lewis of Beautiful and Sacred Things, wanting you to know that the power of healing that you desire, that you deserve, and that you seek is within reach. It is time for you to stretch out your heart in prayer. It is time for you to stretch out your hands in reaching and connecting with those people who you know love and care and are concerned about you and can support you on your journey of growth and evolution. Okay? So, without further ado, I want to again invite you to stay connected with me at Beautiful and Sacred Things on Facebook. There I will be posting these videos as well as sharing updates about the forthcoming, exciting, magical, marvelous, and wonderful Jamaica Healing Retreat 2017. I and a powerhouse team of women will be facilitating a healing retreat for women who are ready to shed inhibitions, limiting beliefs, lack, mindsets that are limiting, that are poverty stricken, pain, disillusionment, depression, anything that is hindering you, that it is time to shed. It is now time for you to stand up in the beauty and the brilliance to become the woman who you are born to be. If the Jamaica Healing Retreat sounds like something that you are interested in knowing more about and you want to be kept abreast of the plans that I am making for us to go sojourn to the island and to go get our blessings, I invite you to share with me your name and your email address. You may post it below or you may inbox me. I look forward to the next installment of the Power of Healing series. I am Queen Leia Lewis, and I love you. God bless.